o'clock or 12 o'clock in Nigeria. And we'll be starting very shortly, but we'll just allow some time for other people to join in. It is a great day, and it's an awesome day for all of us to be part of this great activity as we begin the pre-launch of a great man, Mr. Kola Adebayo. I'm so excited to get to talk about this book, to get to the author and enjoy today with you all. So as I said, we'll give it a little bit of time, let some more people join in. We are live streaming on Zoom, we're live streaming on LinkedIn and also on Facebook. So we'll just give other people some time to join and then we'll begin. Thank you so much. If anybody on the call was at the meeting that happened on Saturday with the very wonderful Dr. Sandhya Delaja, and you would like to share your experience or a little bit of something you learned from that really great meeting, you're very welcome to. If you just want to unmute, you'd be absolutely welcome to. Okay, so I'm going to play a little video from the team in relation to the book whilst we wait for more people to join in. So just sit back and enjoy the short video that the development team have worked on. So I'll be sharing that now. Thank you.
Say everything along your route will be success. Thank you very much because it's not easy to gather people and the people to honor. Most especially people you don't know vividly.
I'm Adeola Adebayo, president and founder of 10 Bookstores. I'm the publisher of the work my journalism. Looking forward to how much impact the book and the author and also the planning team will have on society.
Pardon my frustration in the speech as a result of many challenges of old age.
Hi, hello, I'm Queen Odua. I am the chief editor of Word Samurai Editing Services and the editor of this book, My Journalism, Memoir of a Veteran Pressman by Kola Adebayo. My expectation for this book is that it inspires people, whatever profession, whatever career path you're in. The idea is that you may go through tough times, but what is important is that you come out strong and you tell your story.
Hi, my name is Obepo Saka. I'm part of the media team for my journalism. And my expectation is that this book will show an insight into the depth of what young journalists go through nowadays.
Hi, my name is Somto Ezekwe. I'm in charge of events project. I'm looking at to impact so many people in their careers, especially those who are into journalism, politics, and other areas. Anyways.
My name is Ogeneka Pegejinebi, and I typed this book. So my expectation for this book is that it will impact the lives of other journalists, upcoming journalists also out there, also make impactations in schools and universities. And I hope that this will bless some of them. Thank you.
I am Marco Albanago. I'm the media lead for this project. I can't wait to start. I can't wait to hear the experiences of this great man and look forward to working more with this team.
Wow. Wow, what a great video. What a great team also. We're so grateful.
To touch your blood.
Oh, sorry, excuse me. We're so expectant of everything that's going to happen today. Whilst we introduce some people that we're going to really thank God for bringing on board, and also a great man to talk about the book and also to share his relationship with the author. We'll be doing that shortly, but I think we'll wait a few more minutes just for more people to come on and join us, and then we'll keep going. I hope everybody can hear me well. Can I get a okay, great, thank you. Perfect. We'll just give it another 1 minute. If anybody, as I said earlier, wants to turn on their audio and share a little bit of their experience of the last meeting, which we had on Sunday with the great Dr. Sunday Adelaja, anything they learned, or just any remark they'd like to share, they can feel free. As we just wait for 1 more minute, and then we'll start the program. Okay, I think we're going to be ready to start very shortly. I hope everybody's enjoying their day on this great Tuesday. If I'm not mistaken, today is International Day of Journalists, and that is why we're having this meeting on this day. So it's a great day to be pre-launching this book by Mr. Kola Adebayo, a great man, an 85-year-old veteran, veteran journalist of Nigeria. He has so many achievements, including a wonderful family, and now this wonderful book that we're going to be talking about. My name is Dr. Chidema Obo, and I am here to be your host, and I'm here to be introducing the different people speaking today, and we're going to have a great time because it's a great day. So we're going to kick things off now. So I just want to recognize a couple of wonderful people. First and foremost, Mr. Jola Ogunisi. He is the pioneer secretary of the Nigerian Union of Journalists Secretary. So he's going to be coming up and speaking in a little while, but I want to recognize and just thank him so much for joining us today. Also, Mrs. Esther Ounride. She is a one-time Christian Booksellers Association of Nigeria president, a wonderful woman who I'm sure has also helped shape the reading of our young Nigerians. Also, Mr. Dayo Alabi, also a one-time Christian Booksellers Association of Nigeria's president, and also the former MD of CSS Bookshop. Thank you, sir, for being on this call. Thank you, Ma, for being on this call. And also Dr. Sunday Adelaja. I'm sure we all know Dr. Sunday for many things, including pioneering one of the largest churches in Europe and helping shape Christianity on this part of the world. We are grateful. I don't think he's on the call today, but we had the pleasure of having him on Saturday to speak about the book and his own experience as a journalist. So we are grateful for his support. And also, I'd like to recognize the publisher of the book, Mr. Tolulope Adeola Adebayo. Great man, has many achievements already under his belt, and also my husband. I'm grateful for your presence and for what you do for our family and also what you have done in support of your father. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. As I said, my name is Dr. Chidema Obo, and I am here to be your host. So we're going to have plenty of fun, and I'm going to be introducing once again Mr. Jola Ogunusi. As I said, he is the pioneer secretary of the Nigerian Union of Journalists. He is also a friend to Mr. Kola Adebayo. They came up together as journalists, and he's going to be the chairman of this meeting, and he's going to give the opening remark and speak to us about the book and his relationship with the author. Thank you so much, sir.
You can speak. You can speak now, sir. Can you?
If you're also able to turn on the video, that would be good. Thank you.
Hello?
Hello, sir. We can hear you.
Okay, fine. My name is Jola Ogunlusi. Jola Ogunlusi. Well, I started journalism in 1962 on Yoruba, a vernacular newspaper on the stable of African press. That is the publisher of Tribune, Sunday Tribune. As a reporter then, I had to work on the three newspapers, reporting for the three newspapers, but mainly my assignment was for Irohin Yoruba, for that the purpose I was employed. But as time goes on and development was going on, Circumstances led me to lead the workers of the African press. We want Mr. John, who is a printer, the head printer, for a protest. That protest led to my leaving Nigerian Tribune or in Yoruba for a while, because immediately we protest and because they cannot pay us and so on, I left. And I was seemingly jobless for about a year and a half. But within that year, I was writing for some overseas newspapers, particularly African Art magazine published by the University of California. So I was making some money through that. Later, I took appointment with Sketch on Bong Bong, a vernacular newspaper, another vernacular newspaper. And I worked with the Sketch publishing company for a while. Later, I left Sketch. I left Sketch to work on my own with a friend, King. We set up a magazine, a quarterly magazine, which we call Lamp magazine. Where nowadays people don't know what we call Drum. Drum is the first magazine, broad magazine. It's quarterly or monthly. Then we started working, publishing the Lamp magazine for a while, myself and Mr. King Ogodo. But along the line, we ran into a problem. The cooperative press that was printing for us, we didn't know has a problem with some organization. So they locked the press. Our edition and material we want to publish as a fourth edition was in the press when they locked it. So that is where we stopped the magazine, and we couldn't go ahead. And so by that, I was again jobless. What do I do?
Wow.
I started trying to get something done here and there and so on. A friend, we worked together on this case. That's where I met Kola Adebayo. I'm senior to him in the profession, because I joined the profession 62. I think he joined later. So, but he is working straight on English newspaper, while I was dabbling from one Yoruba newspaper to another. So we were at Banu Saw House, Broad Street, Lagos. And he said, well, since I've been somehow retrenched by Sketch, that he is very close to one Mr. Chief Pierce, Chief Mike Pierce, who was the only employee of New Nigeria in Lagos. Now, if you walk down Broad Street, we walked down Broad Street to White House. I met Chief Pierce. And Chief Pierce said, well, if you can do lining, Joe, it's whatever you produce that you will earn. I said, well, at least let me see whether I can earn something. Glory be to God. He said, okay, I can come and start next week. On 15th of March, I went to the paper with 3 stories. When I got there, he said, okay, he has contacted Kaduna that I can be a lineage and I have some stories. I submitted the story. One of the story is not something I could be discussing, always affect people in the sketch because the incident happens in the same Banuso house where sketch office was. They publish it, and there, by and large, I become a correspondent, lineage correspondent of New Nigeria. And when New Nigeria started full publication, simultaneous publication, is the first newspaper that was doing simultaneous publication, publishing in Kaduna and in Lagos. I was as a reporter in Lagos. So I worked with New Nigeria till 78. I left 78 to take the trade union job, full-time secretary of NUJ. We did interview, so I was employed as the first executive secretary of NUJ. There and that is where I retired after full 13 years as the first national executive secretary of NUJ. And since then, I had a right for this paper or that paper, and I've been on my own. Like I said, with a friend, we were publishing Lamp magazine last in Togodo. When she has a problem, that paper, like I said, Cooperative Press that was printing for us also has a problem. The last edition, which we have in the press, till tomorrow, we couldn't retrieve it, and that is the end of the Lamp magazine. Now, I joined New Nigeria. I must thank God, and I thank Adebayo because we work together on the sketch. Though I'm his senior by profession, by employment in the press, but he is directly employed on an English newspaper. The sketch was employed before me on the sketch. Well, one day he said, let's walk down the Broad Street. We walked down from Banuso House to White House at the end of Broad Street. That's where New Nigerian Lagos office was. And so we met Chief Pierce. Chief Pierce said, well, if you can do lineage, it's whatever you make that is published that you will earn. There was a funny thing, funny in the sense that I started that very day because I have 3 stories with me, which is exclusive. And they use it. New Nigeria started using it. My editor of Boom Boom, that is Chief Oluolofin, and a brother editor of Sunday Sketch, they were not aware that I have been retrenched by Sketch Company because the arrangement of Sketch, the management is different from the editorial. So when they saw my byline, but the first story I sent to the New Nigeria, they gave me byline. When they saw byline, they started phoning Lagos office. A friend was the city editor in Lagos office. When they phoned him, he said, well, they have retained me and so on. In fact, I have not got my 3 months salary from the sketch and claims at the time I left. So I walked to the office and I met caller. I said, caller, have they paid your claim? At least if they cannot even pay the salary, let them pay my claim. I said to go to the city editor, and so I went to the city editor. Good enough, my claim has arrived, and they paid the claim. I collected it. My salary is still there for 3 months. I left back to White House, where the New Nigeria was. I started moving and so on and so on. I have to thank Kola Adebayo because he was the person who introduced me to Chief Mike Pierce. I don't know Chief Mike Pierce before. But when he took me to him, and Pierce received me with open arms, and I submitted the story. The story was published. There and large, I become a star reporter of New Nigeria in Lagos. And I thank God, New Nigeria was the newspaper that really drew out in me what I call journalism. I started very well with the New Nigeria, making headline with exclusive stories, so much that I won a prize on the New Nigeria. I was the first to win the prize. I don't know whether there's another one who won the prize. They gave me an Olympic typewriter, still in my library here. Wow. So I thank New Nigeria for making me known as a journalist. There I developed. In fact, at the time I want to leave New Nigeria for the job of Nigerian Union of Journalists, I asked for that they should give me 3 months leave. 3 years leave of absence. Because I have become very interested in journalism. I love it. I love it. I love it, and I don't want to leave it. But because New Nigeria said, I'm going for a trade union work, therefore, they cannot give me leave. If they that I'm going to a newspaper or another press work, it will have been a different thing. But I'm going for a trade union work, which means even they, at New Nigeria, I will be compelled to negotiate for members of the profession with them. So they cannot take me on a sabbatical leave. So I have to leave finally. I spent 13 years with NUJ and retired as the first executive secretary of Nigerian Union of Journalists after 13 years.
Wow, wow, wow. That's so wonderful. Thank you so much, sir. What an experience. You know, the things that I've picked out of your story is that it's very important to know when to pivot, you know, change the strategy. You know, it sounds like you went through different arms of journalism until you found your feet where you were supposed to be. So just for any young person listening, it's important, if one avenue doesn't work, keep going and keep trying. And then another thing you said is having strategic people in your life. You mentioned about meeting Mr. Kola Adebayo, and something we call sometimes destiny helpers, you know, people that you will meet that will connect you into the right spaces. So we're so grateful to hear a little bit about your story, and we're grateful for all the work that you've done in bringing the news, the press, journalism to Nigeria and Nigerians. I know it has shaped our culture. So sir, I just wanted
let me say something about Kola.
Yes,
why I like Kola, and I will never forget him.
Great.
I've written a book. The book was the Jakande wrote the forward of the book. Wow. And if you read the forward of the book, Nigerian NUJ and the Nigerian press, it's a story of the entire press organizations, that is, formation of NUJ, Guild of Editors, Newspaper Proprietors Association, and MPO, then Broadcasting Organization. All the 4 major organizations in the press were in the book. It's the first book you can think of that discusses the story of the media organization. In fact, if you read the foreword written by Jakande, he said, thanks to Jola Ogunlusi for writing the story of the press, that the story is impeccable, that nobody can deny what I've said about the Nigerian press. Because I gave the writing and everything to him to read, and he read through. And anybody who knows Jakande is a thorough person. He was a governor when I gave him the thing. He took it to Badagry on one holiday, read through all the scripts, and he gave me where I could correct, and then that book is still the only book, I repeat, the only book that tells the story of the Nigerian press. No other one.
Wow, very wonderful. Thank you so much for that, sir.
Mm.
I just wanted to ask you definitely about Mr. Adebayo, but also, is there anything you'd like to share with us about the book, My Journalism? Anything that, we can expect to, we can be expectant of for when the book comes out, just to whet our appetite a little bit?
Yes, let me say this about Kola Adebayo. The book I said I wrote, it was Kola who forced me to write the book. Each time we meet, we say, Jola, if you don't write anything about NUJ, I will write. I say, Kola, don't bother, I will write. He said, right, if you don't write, I will write. We argue, one of those who compel me
Wow.
to put down what I know about the Nigerian press. I have a big library. I don't think there's any of my colleagues that has a library, the type I have. The library is stuffed with books from the United States, from Russia, because you see, when I was at Ibadan as a journalist, I belonged to so many organizations, but I was president of what they call Youth Club in Ibadan. And Americans, they load you book to read. In fact, if you get to my library, you see so many American books, which was given to me free, and I read it. In fact, I have a very big library that I doubt. I know my children, one of them is a journalist. I hope he will be able to keep the library when I go. Because at 90, anytime I can, the journey can come and I get away. So I hope they will be able to keep the library. If they keep it to their own advantage, I have a lot of books there, a lot of things and files on journalism. So I thank God for sparing my life, because not only in journalism, I'm now, for 10 years, I was chairman of Community Development Committee of Ward of local government before I hand over to another person. I was president of West African Resident Association for 10 years. So I've only found myself in a leadership position wherever I go. Right now, I'm still the chairman of what we call Education Committee of Trade Union Veterans. All the trade union thing, we have an organization, we call it Trade Union Veterans. And I'm still the chairman of the Education Committee of the current chairman. We do a lot of things discussed about Nigeria, because politics and other topics. So I think the press has built me. I was discussing with a colleague recently. He said, how many degrees do you have in the? Then I laughed. I said, I don't work for degree. I only have diploma in journalism, diploma in trade unionism, a diploma in international relations. I said, that is enough for me. I don't want BSc, PhD, or this, but working certificate, which is what I have. And there's not a challenge. There's not a colleague of mine at the time I was there that can say they beat me into anything. In fact, they always, I remember one day I was at the airport. The airport correspondent, I was in the New Nigeria then. And New Nigeria have a correspondent there. Because I've beaten them to so many stories in the airport. So I was there, I went to the press gallery. They said, hey, you're chasing me away, that I've come again. I've come again. They chase me away because I will school them and they will not know. They started charging my pocket. Whether I have story or what I've written to them, I don't always take notebook. I always have a piece of paper. cut small piece of paper. I don't need to write details. I need to know name. I wrote names down and so on. So I build my story when I get to. I was still living at Ikeja then. I've not met Professor.
Wow.
I build my story and then write. So by the next day when they see New Nigeria and see a headline of story that of what happened in the airport, they always get worried.
Wow.
There is a particular issue, a particular story.
I'm so sorry. Sorry, sir. Just to save on time, we actually need to move on because we have a few bits to cover within this hour. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry to cut you off. I do apologize.
Okay.
We do need to move on. So we're so grateful to have had your presence and to continue to have your presence as we launch this book. We're going to move on because we'd like to share some testimonials. Yes, sir. So
let me say one more thing about Adebayo. Adebayo is a source of inspiration for me. The book I wrote is Adebayo that forced me to write the book.
Yes,
Jola, if you don't write, I will write. Jola, if you don't write, I will write. When I saw his book, I was happy. He was discussing his story in journalism, his passage as a journalist. I'm writing my story now. It is going to be almost the same way he wrote his own. That is my journey. The first book is my journey.
Yes.
But the next one is going to be my journey.
Yes, sir. So yes, sir, you mentioned. So that's awesome. It sounds like you both were able to encourage each other in this ability to author books. So we're very grateful. So next, I'm going to be sharing a video, and there's a few people who have their microphones turned on. So if we can all mute, so there's no interference. I'm going to be sharing some videos. A video about a testimonial of Mr. Kola Adebayo from Dr. Sunday Adelaja. And then I'm going to open the floor as well to different people who would like to share a little bit. And then we'll take it from there. So give me 1 minute. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing a video now from Dr. Sunday Adelaja from our meeting on Saturday. So if anybody is unmuted, please, I'd appreciate if you could mute your microphone so we can all hear very clearly. Thank you.
So I followed the story of Mr. Adebayo that time. And it's really their courage and their doggedness inspired me that these people were so dedicated to their profession that they were ready to engage the military. And people were so afraid of the military. But the example Mr. Adebayo and his colleagues, I'm sure they will remain the annals of history. So, well, that was my small introduction.
Okay, so that was a testimonial by Dr. Sunday Adelaja. We were grateful to have his presence on Saturday, as I mentioned. So now I'm going to be opening the floor also for any of Mr. Adeola's and Mr. Adebayo's colleagues from the NUJ in Enugu or in Ogun State who would like to unmute their microphones and share a little bit, whether it's about the book, about journalism, or Mr. Kola Adebayo. Please feel free if there's anybody.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. So in the spirit of speaking about the author, and the book. I know I should be speaking last, but just permit me. I hope it's time for me to go on.
Absolutely. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so while we wait for other people who would share their stories about Mr. Kola Adebayo, I have the privilege of being born by the author. He's currently 85 years old now. I want to say one of the things that I noticed while growing up is how much his practice of journalism was in his blood. I'll be very, very plain about it. So myself and my dad had lots of possible arguments, and it was until later on that I realized that the impact of the cause for his arguments most times was because of his practice of journalism. If I engage conversation with my dad, would always have lots of facts, lots of details to talk about. It's always who was very informed. Also, as a publisher, um, it took me a while to realize and to know that my dad actually was a publisher before. So I was quite impressed knowing that he was actually a publisher and he published lots of books. Because sometimes we want to trace why we do certain things that we do. And for me, it's kind of very, it's a kind of very inspiring knowledge to know that my dad was actually a publisher as well, which I also so aside that, is while reading the book, I started to learn lots of values that he projected that growing up I may have not understood. But I must say very, very plainly that I enjoyed the fact that I was born by a journalist. I could see the impact of his career in my own growth as well as a child. So that's just a little bit I'd like to share.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adiola Adebayo. I would just like to say again, if anybody has their microphone switched on, can you please? It's causing a disturbance. I can see Mr. Ofona. If you don't mind muting your microphone when you get the opportunity, that would be great. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to move on. I shared this video a little bit earlier, and I shared this video a little bit earlier when a few people were not on the call, and I'm going to play it again. It's a video that has been put together by the team who published this book, and it's going to have some information at the end that is quite key for all of us today. So if you'd bear with me, I will share the video now.
God, we definitely honor you in all situations, in your endeavors in life. This will be year of honoring you. You will never tempt anything, say everything along your route to be success. I thank you very much because it's not easy to gather people and the people to honor. Most especially people who don't know vividly.
I'm Adeola Adebayo, president and founder of TM Bookstores. I'm the publisher of the work, My Journalism. Looking forward to how much impact the book and the author and also the planning team will have on society.
pardon my frustration in the speech as a result of many challenges of old age.
Hi, hello, I'm Queen Odwa. I am the Chief Editor of What Samurai Editing Services and the editor of this book, my journalism memoir of a veteran pressman by Kola Adebayo. My expectation for this book is that it inspires people, whatever profession, whatever career path you're in. The idea is that you may go through tough times, but what is important is that you come out strong and you tell your story.
Hi, my name is Bookstores. I'm part of the media team for my journalism. And my expectation is that this book will show an insight into the depth of what young journalists go through nowadays.
Hi, my name is Somto Ezekwe. I'm in charge of events and venue organization. I'm expectant to this project, and I'm looking at to impact so many people in their careers, especially those who are into journalism and politics and other areas anyways.
My name is Ogeneka Genevieve, and I typed this book. So my expectation for this book is that it will impact the lives of other journalists, upcoming journalists also out there, also make and universities. And I hope that this will bless someone out there. Thank you.
I am Marco Albanago. I'm the media lead for this project. I can't wait to start. I can't wait to hear the experiences of this with this team.
Wow. Wow, what a great video. Thank you so much to the team that put it together. I think there's a little bit of a glitch. The sound that's meant to be playing at the background, you may not be able to hear it from there, from wherever you are listening from. So I want to thank everybody for joining for joining today. We're so grateful. As you can see, I have some account details on the screen. We would like to open the floor up to anyone who would like to make any open pledge to supporting the book. Today is the pre-launch, as you are all aware of, and we would really appreciate all the support, definitely by your presence, but also financially to help us push this work out and get it into the right hands. And what I mean by that is we have a vision that we can get it into the hands of the younger people, younger journalists, younger Nigerians, to know a little bit more about the story of Nigeria and the history, because it's important that we know where we're coming from to also be able to help guide us to where we're going. So I'd like to open the floor up to anyone who would like to make an open pledge. This is your opportunity. I'm going to leave the account details on the screen. We would love for your support. Thank you. So anyone, just unmute your mic, feel free. If you would rather not, that's okay too. But if you'd rather not do it openly, that's what I mean, that's okay too, but we would love your support. So if you would like to just use the account details, we would be grateful for any amount at all. Thank you so much. So whilst people are using the account details, as I mentioned earlier, Mr. Kola Adebayo is my father-in-law, and I'm grateful to have met him during this time of his life, and to be able to be part of this great vision. He's 85 years old, and he's publishing a book. I want to just encourage anybody out there right now. Age is just a number, as you can imagine. You can do anything. So don't make the excuse, I'm in my 30s, I'm in my 40s, my 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s. You can do anything you set your mind to. Mr. Adebayo is a great example of that, and we are grateful for him. I got to meet him for the first time last year, and he is full stories of Nigeria. I'm from the eastern part of Nigeria, and he could tell me so many more stories than I even knew. And it was a great time, and it is always a great time getting to meet him. He's really full of the wisdom of Nigeria, and he's full of advice as to where this country can go. So I want to encourage everybody to do try to make a pledge, and try to get the book once it's out, because if talking to him, he's constantly pouring out wisdom about Nigeria. You can imagine what he's written down. It's really a great book. So without any further ado, just so that we are on time, I'm going to be introducing our publisher, the son of Mr. Kola Adebayo, who was able to help him actualize this dream and put this book together. We are grateful for all of your efforts, and we know you've made plenty of efforts towards this book. And you're allowing and you're helping your father make his dream come alive. We're so grateful, and I know that he is so grateful. So, Mr. Adela, thank you so much. Please unmute and you can give us the final remarks.
Okay. I'd like to say a very big thank you to Dr. Chichi, to Mr. Jola Ogunlusi, to all our other guests present, Mr. Udekwe, I can see you on the call. That's Nigeria Union of Journalists, Enugu. I want to say a big thank you to everyone for gracing this pre-launch. So it's called a pre-launch because it's just a preparatory event to let every one of us know the things that lie ahead of the book launch. Also, if you can see the screen currently projected, you find that there is the narration to use is support for dreams. I've listened to my dad for quite some time, and I've been able to tell that this is someone who has a dream for Nigeria, and that relationship with him has led us into deciding to work on a project that we've also titled Dreams, where we are going to capture all the parting words of veterans, of older Nigerians who have some strategic story to tell about the nation and the things young people can do about the nation. I got engaged in a couple of conversations with my dad at some point, and I got to know that he was actively involved in activism. And this is something that journalists globally represent. They represent the voice of the people. So anytime you see a journalist, you find out that most of what they are saying is about how they can represent the interests of the people. And my dad did justice to that, to the point that he was arrested at several times in Nigeria. One good thing that every one of us must understand on this important day, which is the International Day for Remembrance of Journalists, is that these journalists are actually silent heroes. They are people who, because of them, the democracies of our nations are still very much intact. In his book, My Journalism, he captures a couple of these things. As a matter of fact, I tried to insist while he was working on the book to capture the story of the Saudi Arabia journalist that was killed that was killed basically, I think, in Tunisia. So the reality of the matter is that because journalists have a voice that represents the people, sometimes they act in opposition to to political powers. And so it's just important for us to know that there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into the work of journalism. As we prepare towards the launch of this book, we're going to be working with veterans who will be sharing their stories and sharing their dreams about Nigeria, because we know that there is something vital they still hold in their hearts about Nigeria, about the nation. We're going to be capturing those details. In my dad's book, he spoke about how each state in Nigeria can be like each state in Nigeria could be like a Dubai. And that's our dream, that's our vision. We hope that someday each state in Nigeria will be so empowered that the economy is as powerful as the economy of Dubai. You know, there's a whole lot that lies ahead of us in this country. We believe that journalists play a very key and vital role for Nigeria to get to its destination. We heard from the story of Dr. Sunday Adelaja, how he was instrumental in the pioneering of the Orange Revolution that brought a lot of stability in the leadership of Ukraine. And we believe that as a nation, every one of us have a role to contribute towards ensuring that Nigeria gets to its destination. We celebrate the journalists today. We celebrate all journalists who are on this call. We celebrate journalists globally, and we are actively supporting your efforts towards making sure that the democracies that we have in our various nations are democracies that bring about true change in the society. As we look forward towards the launch, we want to encourage every one of us to keep throwing in our support. By the grace of God, in February, we are going to be having the official launch, and we're going to be preparing everybody's heart and mind towards it. So thank you so much. We appreciate you and look forward to your participation in the book launch. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Debayo. Thank you so much for those words. And I want to thank every person who has joined the call, whether you're on LinkedIn or you're on YouTube or you're here with us on Zoom. We are really grateful for your attendance and hope to see you at the official launch in February. Thank you. Bye.